In 2004, rappers chased endorsement checks. Jay-Z negotiated sneaker deals. Nelly built apple bottoms. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson walked into the same world and asked a different question. Why take a check when you can take the company? This is how he turned surviving 9 bullets into a business machine that quietly runs under the entertainment world. By the end, you'll know how he used that machine to turn flavored water, TV shows, and even bankruptcy into parts of one system, and what that system means for anyone trying to build an empire in 2026. What is this system? And how did he do it?
And it was sold to Coca-Cola for you made $100 million?
Well, 4.1 billion they actually sold the company for. I did pretty good. I had a non-disclosure agreement, so I couldn't actually say exactly how much I made, but I can show you all my teeth.
Okay.
The Vitaminwater company wanted 50 Cent's face on their drink. The standard offer was a cash endorsement fee. Instead of taking the money, he pushed for something most artists weren't asking for at the time, a minority equity stake tied to his own Formula 50 flavor. For a few years, that choice looked like a risk. Vitaminwater wasn't a global giant yet. The payout depended on whether the company would ever be bought. When Coca-Cola acquired Glacio for $4.1 billion, that equity stake is estimated to have paid him around $100 million. He didn't just collect an endorsement check, he traded short-term security for a share of the entire engine and gave Coca-Cola access to a market they struggled to reach on their own.
50 Cent, hot bootleg CDs, check them out, hot bootleg CDs, 50 Cent, check it out.
We just did this. Where you going?
Instead of taking cash from them, I actually wanted equity in the company. It was a very aggressive ask, and it caught Glacio off guard. They weren't opposed to the idea, but they were nervous about getting into business with me on that level. They only knew me as a rapper who'd been shot 9 times, and they weren't sure they wanted to be associated with that sort of energy. I needed to put their minds at ease, so I took a meeting with the company's CEO. I didn't show up with an entourage, just Chris and me. I expressed how much respect I had for their brand. I was already a loyal consumer, and how hard I planned to work at spreading the word. I didn't give off the arrogant attitude or aggressive energy they probably were expecting. I presented myself as someone who saw a special business opportunity and was prepared to work his ass off to make it happen. And that was the truth. My approach helped them get over their apprehension, and we were able to strike an equity deal.
Curtis Jackson again. You guys know, without a doubt, I promote Vitaminwater the best. Vitaminwater! None of those other guys would do that. Shit. That wasn't part of the skit.
In 2005, 50 Cent launched G-Unit Film and Television, the company behind series like Power and other instant classics. On screen, he looked like an actor and an executive producer. Behind the credits, G-Unit was steadily becoming a full studio pitching, selling, and delivering shows to networks and streamers.
That's the easiest money we ever got.
Hell yeah. Don't speak too soon.
We need more guys out there. Go on.
Whatever you say, Cap.
You clear. You really gonna do this?
Gotta get my name back.
Hey, slow down.
Mind swapping out? Mind swapping out? Game on?
Yeah, man. Game on.
Where's Jamal?
Yo, Jamal!
Your boy here?
Hey, Jamal!
Now's your chance, boys. Go get your revenge. Go.
Captain Foster here.
At first, it looked like a simple move from music into television. Then another layer appeared. Inside these shows, viewers began seeing the same brands, such as Branson Cognac again and again. One loop feeds the next. He is the producer, the advertiser, and the product owner inside the same structure.
Until you have enough success that you start to create lifestyle around it, you don't even have bills. Like my grandmother, the first thing I did when I did the deal was I bought her a small Mercedes-Benz, like the C-Class Mercedes-Benz, and I left on a tour. That was my only expense, that car and that $800 a month apartment. And by the time I came back, I had $38 million. A journalist told me about Mike's house. I said I should buy it. Then I went and saw it and looked at it, and I bought it. Because, you know, when you make $38 million, if you don't spend it, the IRS is just coming to take it anyway.
You guys still have it?
No, I sold it and gave the proceeds to charity.
In July 2015, headlines said one thing: 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy. Memes framed it as the end of his money. The court record describes something different. On the day a jury was set to decide punitive damages in a case where he had already been hit with a $5 million award, he filed for Chapter 11 in Connecticut. Around the same period, an arbitrator in Florida awarded roughly $16 million against him in a headphone dispute. Chapter 11 placed these claims inside a formal reorganization process. It did not erase them, but it controlled the timing and structure of how creditors could reach his assets. To the public, it looked like collapse. To the legal system, it was a protective restructuring of an active business portfolio.
About a year ago or so, you declared bankruptcy. You said you're out of money, and then you irritated the judge in the case because you started posting all these pictures of you that seemed to indicate that you have a ton of money. You put up this picture right here of you eating a money sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I for one can tell you how you went broke.
So why were you doing that?
Conan, my audience doesn't understand the difference between Chapter 11 and Chapter 7.
Yeah.
When you file Chapter 11, you just really reorganize.
You're reorganizing your business.
It's not, I had 4 companies that had over like $3 or $4 million in each one of them. So
right.
I can pull the money out and take those pictures.
Right.
But the courts is going, you know, their responsibility is to make sure the debtors are paid because they've received these awards from different arbitrators and different things. And it's interesting because once you're successful and you're publicly noted, you become a target, a bullseye.
Yeah.
Like the lawyers do everything in contingent on getting something from you.
Right.
They sue you for, you know, that.
But that still begs the question, if that's the situation, why put all that?
These moves form more than a highlight reel. They outline a pattern any modern creator can study. First, trading endorsement fees for equity when you're central to a brand's growth. Second, building your own distribution infrastructure so your products travel through systems you control. Third, understanding how to use legal structures to protect what you build when it comes under pressure. Used once, these are isolated wins. Used repeatedly, they become a method. Treat every new opportunity as a chance to own a piece of the system, not just a moment inside it. For creators in 2026, the lesson is stable. Attention can be borrowed. Ownership has to be built.
A lot of people don't know this. 50 Cent took me on my first, like, really, really big tour.
That's right.
And I was man enough to go and ask 50. I was like, 50, look, I don't want to hang with you or none of that, bro. Can I just be a fly on the wall, man, and just observe you? He told me yes. So, like, every day I would just study 50 Cent. And he may not want me to tell people this, but I never saw 50 drink. I never saw 50 smoke. I never saw 50 womanize. Every day that I was around 50 Cent, and I was in his personal space.
It was about business.
All he did was business and work out. That's all he did. And his focus, his laser focus with all of this chaos that was around him. Now, I ain't gonna say the other things that may have been in his circumference, but him, he always stayed focused.
Sound across the country are sitting empty. So why did 50 Cent just commit $124 million to build a studio empire in Shreveport, Louisiana? At first glance, it looks reckless until you look more closely at the deal and understand the model. Vertical integration is the future of production, and it's a playbook already being adopted by some of the biggest producers in the world. I'm Jason Fisher, the founder of Stage Runner and former head of production at Disney, Paramount, and AMC. And today, we're breaking down how producers are becoming real estate power players. Okay, let's start with the deal. 50 Cent's company is investing $124 million to renovate 3 properties in Shreveport. The former Millennium Studios, soon to be called G Unit. They're upgrading Stageworks, a downtown live event and production venue, and they're building a massive new dome-style theater, basically his version of the Vegas Sphere. Here's the key part. The state of Louisiana is contributing $50 million to cover additional construction costs. Why? Because it creates new jobs, adds tourism, and long-term tax revenue. In effect, the state is covering 40% of this build-out, dramatically lowering his construction costs and risk. Under this new model, 50 Cent gets heavily subsidized infrastructure and a guaranteed anchor tenant, himself. When you produce at his scale, you spend a fortune renting stages, equipment, and venues. But now, when he sells a show to Netflix or Starz, the production budget pays rent to him. The streamer covers the overhead, and the studio operation becomes a new profit center. And this isn't an outlier. It's a growing trend. Tyler Perry started this in Atlanta, and now we've got Robert De Niro opening Wildflower Studios in New York, Taylor Sheridan in Texas, Mark Wahlberg in Vegas, James Corden in the UK, and Mr. Beast in North Carolina. As owning IP gets harder and harder, Producers are finding leverage elsewhere, operating more efficiently, controlling infrastructure, and keeping more money on every project. Look to see more creative deals like this in the coming year.
Equity over endorsements, studios over appearances, legal protection over public perception. Creators face the same choice today. Platforms offer attention. Ownership requires building pipes that outlast algorithms. Which system are you constructing?